Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Sweet and Sour Soccer. Today, we're going to be talking about the next Everton manager. Going to be talking about the candidates who are in for the running. I'm going to be offering my opinion as well on whether I think it will happen and also whether I think the different managers would be a good move for the club or not. Guys, before I jump into it, though, make sure to hit that like button. Also, please do subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Let's jump straight into the man on screen. And this one, I don't know whether Everton are just taking the mickey at this point. You know, interest already in Roberto Martinez. Apparently, different people within the club think it's a good idea, a bad idea. But once again, they're not listening to the Everton fans, really. I've not come across one Everton fan yet online or in any kind of Everton groups or anything, but actually want this man back in. And, you know, it's not like it ended brilliantly for him anyway. Like, you know, on his last time with the club, it obviously ended in flags being shown, just like the way Rafa, you know, ended his tenure. This was just such a weird one. And I think if it did happen, it would just show once again that Everton behind the scenes are listening to everyone but the fans, in my opinion. I don't really think it'd be a good appointment either. You know, obviously I was going to say he's done well at Belgium. He's done okay, hasn't he? He hasn't done fantastic. And you know, I think even as a managerial coach outside of international football, just in domestic football, he's somewhat questionable. I don't see him to be the manager to do this Everton rebuild. Do I think it's possible? Well, he looks to be the ones that they're in early talks with. There's different things that are coming out about whether it's achievable or not. Do you know what? I'm just going to say, for Everton fans, I really do hope that this one isn't achievable. Let's move on, and let's just move on to someone that I'm sure Everton fans would probably be much more welcoming. Wayne Rooney, and what a start to his managerial career, doing absolute dream works at Derby County, somehow lifted them off the bottom of the table, despite their multiple points deductions, and now just sitting 9 points away from the, you know, not the playoffs, that would be some achievement, from getting out of that relegation. And it's a really interesting one, isn't it? Because I think Everton at the moment, they need someone that's going to get the players together, uplift the whole club in general, get the players playing for the team, get them playing for the fans, get the fans behind someone. And what Rooney has done at Derby shows that he can definitely do that. I mean, he's literally at the moment probably doing something that's probably on level par, I'll be honest, in my opinion, if he pulls it off. If he keeps them up, that would be level par with what Leicester win in the league. I really do think it'd be that good of achievement. You know, that can completely keep having points deducted, but still keep players engaged and fighting. It's a real achievement, and I think it would be brilliant for Everton Football Club if they could pull him away from Derby and get him into the club, obviously with his history of Everton as well. Started his career with Everton, ultimately finished his English career with Everton as well. A lot of sentimental value. Look, this is an interesting one because he did always promise Derby, no matter what, I'm here to stay. Don't matter what keeps on happening behind the scenes. I'm here to stay at least for this season, and I'm going to do everything I can to pull Derby out of this mess. So it'd be interesting if he does keep to his word. It's hard, isn't it? Of course, you know, if Everton came in for him with how he's been performing, it would be hard to ignore the lure of the Premier League. But at the same time, I would kind of respect him if he did maybe wait until at least the summer and achieve what he has with Derby. But it'd be really promising for Everton fans if he did come in. I think he'd do an absolutely superb job of getting the Everton side and Everton back on track and up the table. Let's move on to another man that's been spoken about, Graham Potter. Now, this one's an interesting one because I think Graham Potter he's going to end up moving from Brighton. I think he will eventually. Done absolutely superb work there. And a bit of a not falling out, but made a few comments not too long ago about the fans when they were booing the team about their performances and kind of just saying, what more do you want from me? The hard one about this is it would take a hefty transfer fee to get him. And what are you going to do? You've just brought in 25 million for Lucas Digne. Are you going to spend that on firstly sacking Rafa and then bringing Graham Potter in? I really feel that would be the stumbling block more than anything. And of course, whether Potter would want to jump at the proposition that Everton offer. I know that Everton have been suffering from financial fair play issues. Maybe you would want to see, you know, a promise of some investment. But I think the main obstacle with this one, if I'm being completely honest, is going to be the fact that the transfer fee that would be involved, the money that would have to go to Brighton. And as mentioned, with Everton suffering FFP situations, not really wanting to bring the players that they want to bring in, I somewhat don't see a hefty transfer fee to sign a manager. But if he did come in, I think it'd be an absolutely superb signing. I think he would do unreal things with Everton. But I just don't see this one happening. I really don't, unfortunately. Everton fans, let me know your thoughts as well in the comments. So let's move on to Frankie Lampard. Now, Lampard, I've got to be honest, I'm not a massive fan of Lampard, not as like a person or anything like that. I just mean in his managerial profile. Obviously, with Derby, got them to a playoffs final and lost. Did absolutely brilliant with Chelsea in the first year when he had to use the kids. You can't take anything away from that. But then ultimately, when the money was there, he didn't really live up to the expectation and was moved on. And I am a little bit surprised he's yet to get himself into a job. I don't see Everton as the right one for him, no. I really do feel that long-term Lampard should go back down to the Championship, to be honest, to rebuild, restart. I really do feel he was fortunate to get that Chelsea job. And although he did all right in his first year, I don't see him being the man for the Everton rebuild. I really don't. That's just my personal opinion. I'll be honest, as I said, I'm not a massive fan of Frank Lampard from what I've seen of him at the moment as a manager. If I was weighing it up, I'd prefer Rooney over Lampard. I really would. That's just my personal opinion yet again. But I think Rooney would be a much better proposition than Lampard. This one could happen though. He's out of job. It wouldn't cost anything. Negotiations wouldn't be too hard to come by. I think he would jump at the chance of Everton Football Club. And I think Everton could do a lot worse. So I don't think he's the ideal candidate, but they could do a lot worse than Frank Lampard. But I think he'll get mixed reactions. I really do. I think some Everton fans would welcome him. So if you are one, let me know, or let me know if you agree with me. So let's move on once again. Bit of a foreign manager one here then. Obviously, Lucien Favre, who previously managed Dortmund in his career. He actually won the German Super Cup there as well. And wherever he's gone in his career, he's been spoke about really well. Had a great time, despite not really winning much trophy-wise. He's had a couple of trophies in his, when he was a manager in the Swiss League. And obviously that German Super Cup I've just mentioned with Dortmund. 64 years of age, previously managed, obviously, Dortmund. He's managed Nice, Gladbach as well. And he's just been spoke about really well wherever he's gone, to be honest. Currently not in a job as well. As far as this one goes so far, apparently Everton are yet to interview him, but he is on the short list. Wouldn't be a bad option at all. I really don't think so. I think the only thing would be maybe he's aged 64 years old. Is he going to be a long-term manager? But then what is a long-term manager these days? Sometimes if you can get 2-3 years out of a manager these days, it's considered you've done really well. And I'm sure he'd want to keep on managing for that. I don't know what he's waiting for. I don't know, personally, whether he's pretty much feels that he's retired. Is he looking for an opportunity to come to the Premier League? I guess they're going to be the stumbling blocks. But as an appointment, I think this would be a real solid appointment. Do I think it's a likely one? Not so far, but let's see how things materialize in the coming days. I've got 2 more candidates, guys, 2 more people, 2 more names I want to throw out. I'm going to skip through this one quite quickly. He is in the running, Nuno Espirito Santo. I'm a Wolves fan, so I can't talk too much down on him. But the one thing I would say is, by the time he left Wolves, I wanted him gone. I thought his style of play was quite boring. It was quite tedious. It wasn't very exciting, especially towards the end of his Wolves tenure. And I think Spurs fans would say the exact same. I feel like Everton as a fan base, they need football that's going to inspire. They need a manager that's going to inspire. They need a manager that they can really get behind. I'm not sure that Nuno's perhaps this manager to do that at this moment in time. I really do feel his next managerial appointment will be outside the Premier League. Now, Everton fans, I know what you're thinking. You're probably raging at me if you're still watching this video, because I haven't spoke about one of the main people that are in the reckoning. But that is simply because, in my opinion, I've left the best to last, and that is Duncan Ferguson. I say give it him to the end of the season. I really do. And maybe further than that. I think Everton need to spend time with this appointment. I don't think it's one they should jump into mid-season. What Everton need at the moment is they need someone that the fans can get behind, someone the team can get behind, and something that's going to unite this football club. And that is Duncan Ferguson for me. I really think it is. I mean, the picture I've brought up, you know, the time when he got his win, when he was interim boss last time against Manchester United, everyone got behind him. The whole fan base, the players seemed to gel well with him. There just seemed to be such a bit of an uplift when Everton needed it most. And once again, Everton in that situation. So I say give it to Duncan Ferguson. I really do. I think this is the option for the rest of the season. And maybe further, I think Everton should take time on this one, because Everton need to have a think and think, what's our style of play? What's our identity of a football club? You know how Man City are going to play. You know how Burnley are going to play. Okay, the football Burnley play might not be pretty, but if you ask for an identity of how Burnley play, you'd be able to say, and you'd be able to identify how Burnley play. I'm not sure Everton have that at the moment. I don't feel recent managerial appointments have really pointed towards a style of play that the club are wanting to have. It's been very mixed, and it's not been very exciting, especially with the appointment of Rafa Benitez. I think take your time, give this man a shot, and if he does well, he might be the man to go further than the season. But I think for the rest of the season, give it to Duncan Ferguson, see what he can do, and then go from there. I think there'll be a lot more options in the summer, and probably, or maybe, Duncan could be the long-term option. Guys, let me know your thoughts. If you're an Everton fan, who do you want? And make sure to hit that like button. Also, please do hit that subscribe button if you're new here. I think we're on our way to 1,700 subs now, so that would be amazing if you could help us get that little bit closer. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.